quite heartening to see how some nations in the world are achieving gender equality to ensure the sustainable development of their country. Today, I read that Germany adopted a national strategy to promote gender equality for the first time in its history, aiming to put an end to years of sluggish progress on equal rights and treatment for women. So, friend, joining me, a wonderful person and expert, Andrea Bury from Berlin. She is possessing more than 20 years of experience as a public speaker, as well as someone who has been working extensively on women empowerment. So over to Andrea. Hi, Andrea. We welcome you on our channel and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much, Rajni, for inviting me. And it's really an honor speaking to you.
So, Andrea, it would be really great to know more about your life journey briefly and a little bit about your foundation.
Originally, I'm an economist. So I started economy and I started my career in a sponsoring agency. So I was working a lot in sports and entertainment, in the entertainment business. And one year in 2004, I was also going around the world with the Formula One. And we were in Sao Paulo, and I was in this little car where you drive with your people to the racetrack. And we had to go through a favela. And then people were actually knocking on our car and asking for money. And then 20 minutes later, my clients opened magnum bottles of champagne in the VIP area, and they didn't care. And there was kind of this moment for me that I thought, I want to use my skills for something with a more positive impact in the world than just making some people happy drinking champagne.
Right.
And not taking care about what's happening outside of their little bubble. Right. And this is when I started looking into initiatives for green events and all these kind of things, sustainability. And in 2006, Mohamed Yunus won the Peace Nobel Prize with his idea of the social business. And at that time, I met my now ex-husband, and he was into innovation. And so together, we wanted to create a think tank that brings together sustainability and innovation. And we wanted to create a physical hub. So we were looking for a great place, and we found this in Marrakesh. So I moved to Morocco. We bought that house in the Medina, in the old part of Marrakesh, and we renovated it only with traditional craftspeople.
Wow.
That was quite an adventure, I have to say. It took like 1.5 years. But I learned so much. Like, first of all, I was really fascinated about the skills and also a little bit about the pragmatic knowledge and how they approach problems, you know? And then at the same time, I was reading a lot of studies about the education system, about the status of women. Well, it's an Arabic country, religion plays a big role. And Morocco is it's a wonderful, fantastic country, but the literacy status of women and the education level is still very low. And so something in me started to think about, okay, how can I bring together, like, their amazing skills and this education problem? Like, how can we bring this into one system? And what I started then is, you know, they have these old bags, these shukara, they are hand embroidered.
Wow, lovely.
And I used this old skill, and we taught the women how to bring it to new forms, to new designs, new colors, so that we can sell it internationally. And we trained them. And I have to say, it's not only women, it's also men. It's like a joint endeavor, I say.
Yes.
And then we started the Abury collection, which is the body and the company who is doing the sales and marketing and sells the bags. But at the same time, we have the Abury Foundation, and we reinvest 50% of the profits of the foundation, of the collection, into the foundation.
Okay.
And with the Abury Foundation, we start education projects, community projects, and the idea behind is that we tell the people it's a profit share.
Okay.
So they earn the money. It's like not a donation, but they can be proud that they can actually pay their own schooling. Or so you know, I think it makes a shift in the mind when it's not a donation and you're dependent on something, but you actually earned it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm very sure that this story is not as simple as it sounds. You definitely,
Yes.
you definitely must have faced many challenges. So we would definitely love to understand what challenges did you face, especially in terms of empowerment, self-confidence, independence when it comes to women-centric foundation.
Well, number one, coming as a European woman with a kind of free spirit, to a Arabic country where sometimes men don't even touch your hand, saying hello, or there's still some really, So it is hard to accept as well, So to find your place and let's say a voice that is being heard also by the men is kind of I look at it as a game, you know. You have to find the right way, but I think what finally convinced some of them was my persistence. I was always true to my words, and I really always respected them. I didn't force them to give me their hand. If they didn't want to, I was like, okay, like that's fine. Let's just talk. And you know, you don't have to kind of change everything from one day to the other. I think it is a evolution, I say. So obviously that took quite a while until I assimilated a bit with the completely different culture. And then what I realized within the women, and I did a survey with women in a Berber village. It's about 1.5 hours outside of Marrakesh in the mountains. And in this village, there are about 500 people. It's about 100 families. It's very small, you know, very their own area. So I did interviews with the women and asked them, okay, like if you could read and write, and if you would have the opportunity, like what would you like to do with it? And I have to say, it's really, I don't know, they didn't have a great vision for themselves. For themselves, the most important was their child is healthy, their husband is a nice man, she can see her friends and talk with them. And then some of them, they started, maybe I can have a field and then go to the market or have a little boutique. But they didn't have like the really big vision to be a working woman. I thought that was really interesting. When I asked them in the second round, like, what would you like your child to be? And no matter if it was a boy or a girl, they always said doctor, teacher, lawyer. They had like this huge vision for their children. They were sure, okay, education can bring them anywhere. We want them to learn. They were like really enthusiastic. And I thought that was quite interesting. So what we also started is kind of a program teaching women a little bit more self-confidence.
Okay, wonderful.
Because they didn't trust in themselves. They thought they're already 25 or 30 and their life is already lived and they cannot like do anything. So I'm like, okay, like you're still young. So believe in yourself, and that was really something that really touched me, because I wasn't prepared for that situation.
Yes, yes, wonderful. So how COVID-19 has impacted your projects, and how you have been planning to continue your work in situation like this?
Well, most of our projects are in Morocco. Morocco is in shutdown since mid-March. They closed the borders, so nobody is coming in, nobody is coming out of Morocco at the moment, still until now. From mid-March until last week, they also were in lockdown. So, which means they couldn't move from one city to the other. They had to be single outside. They always have to wear a mask. They can only go to work if they have a paper from their employer. They can go to the supermarket, but then they have to prove that it's the closest supermarket they can go to. So they're not allowed to kind of spread and walk around. So it was really, really tough lockdown, which means the schools we have in the villages are closed.
Oh.
The production that we have is closed. We haven't produced a bag in 4 months. So it's really tough. We just started last week again. But we took the time to see how we can actually make our projects better. So we found a local NGO that we are now starting a cooperation with, who is helping us to adjust our projects and our learning and integrate a little bit more of an entrepreneurial training for the women as well, because so far they learn how to read and write and they get some stimulation, but we haven't brought them yet into business. Like really, we start, but then the last step is still missing. So now with this local NGO, we actually create a program that is actually bringing them into business, like taking the full cycle. And this is really exciting. And actually, because of Corona, we had the time to really think about what we need and how we can develop it. So it was bad and good, you know, like as always, things have good and bad sides. But Corona allowed us to take the time to actually start developing things again and be active and not only reactive.
Right. Yeah. Indeed, there are many challenges due to COVID-19, and maybe gradually we are also learning how to deal with these challenges, because these are these are not the times that we have ever seen. None of us have ever seen these kind of times. So for everyone, these are new timings, unprecedented challenges are coming in.
Absolutely. And you know, like a lot of these people, they are daily workers, probably like in India as well. They don't have a bank account or some savings. It's like they live from day to day. And then from one day to the other, they're like, everything broke down. They literally have nothing. And it's really hard. We try to support them as much as possible, but obviously also us here, we are like not in our best state as always, you know. So it's tough times, but we look at it as as creating some possibilities as well.
True. Andrea, you are doing a wonderful job. Keep doing fantastic work. We wish you all the best for all future projects and your endeavors. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for sharing your perspective and giving us insight into your work. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching.